So do you think we're living in like some sort of simulation, which could be AI driven or not AI driven, but just a very curious topic to actually
It's
talk
a very
to.
serious question.
Yeah, serious. Yeah, I'm very curious to know
Looks
what's
like
your
you've seen
perspective.
Matrix a lot.
Yeah.
Do you have any reason not to believe? And what makes you think you're not already in it? Right, performance reviews?
Okay.
I wish.
That's a great concept. Hope the audience is not AI.
Hello everyone. Welcome to the next episode of Next Gen Talks. So today's topic of conversation, we are going to be talking about how does one build a career in AI at Intuit. I'm Ashwit, a product manager at Intuit.
Hey, I'm Partha. I'm a product manager at Intuit working in QuickBooks Desktop Enterprise.
So today we have Prashant and Ananya with us who will take us through this journey and give us some valuable and beautiful insights as we have this conversation. So would you like to introduce yourself to the audience?
Go ahead.
All right. Hi, everyone. I'm Ananya Pramod. I work as a machine learning engineer under Prashant. And what we work on is basically initiatives in responsible AI, work like financial error detection, all to delight our customers.
Hi, I'm Prashant. I'm the director for AI, data, and analytics.
Yeah.
Let's get started.
Awesome. Yeah.
I think a lot of our audience want to know, like, what are the key skills and qualifications that one needs to have a great successful career in AI? And you can bring in your perspective from Intuit or even the market.
Yeah, sure. I think the way Intuit is structured in this organization is that we have two core strengths or two skills that we look for. One is ML engineers, just like Ananya, who is really good in ML engineering, data engineering, basic software skills, and a knowledge of AI ML technologies, right?
Yeah.
And the other one we look at is data scientist or research scientist. These are generally minimum masters in relevant fields like applied mathematics or computer science. If it's computer science, then we focus on NLP, deep learning, or any of the AI-related technologies. We also prefer PhDs. We have quite a few PhDs in our team.
Okay.
We have PhDs basically from applied mathematics, computer science, and also we have applied physics, which is astrophysics.
Oh, wow.
Right. So,
Awesome.
yeah. So we look at very niche skills for data scientists or research scientists. For that is minimum is masters on, like I said, mathematics or computer science, but we prefer PhD students.
Okay, got it. And there were a lot of terms which you used while answering this. Maybe just to demystify for our audience, you mentioned about AI, ML, data science, and also analytics. Could you give a very brief about what these roles entail, and
Yeah.
are they mutually exclusive or are they gray areas?
It's kind of, see, each company has got their own connotation on the designation and the profile in which to look for, right? AML is a big space,
Yeah.
right? So the way we have structured our team is that we have two clear demarcation. One is research scientists who really build mathematical models or even deep learning models, which is fine-tuned to make sure that there's a customer benefit to it. So you can add responsible AI security on top of it and multiple other bells and whistles that we have to put in to deploy into production. So that's generally done by the research scientist, right? And these are what I mentioned as minimum masters and PhDs,
Yes.
right? And the other side of the thing is on engineering. Just like Ananya, you need to take these models into a production scale environment, right? You have security which has to be deployed with AWS that we deploy, and our own securities that we have to watch for. Scalability, enhanceability, optimization in terms of cost that is there to run the model. How often we train the model, deploy the model, and get the predictions run without any downstream impact on the customers, right? So that is primarily focused on engineering. So, a combination of these two is what encompasses the entire AI/ML space.
Awesome. That clarifies a lot, at least for me as well.
Absolutely.
Cool. There was one more question which I was having. That we know that what kind of skills and qualifications one needs now, but what does Intuit help the employee to grow in its AI career? Anything that you want to share from your stories?
Sure. I think I can start and maybe Ananya can add.
Definitely,
we have BITS program, which is Masters in AI/ML from BITS Pilani, that anybody who's working at Intuit can take up that course. We also used to have a 6-month data science program where we used to have an external vendor coming and training for 6 months on how to build very specific models with deep understanding of mathematics, right?
Okay.
We had that program. And of course, we have GED twice a year where
Yeah.
innovation happens. Everybody is so focused on AI/ML. Everybody wants to build some project or customer benefited impact on that particular space. Then we have Innovation Week,
Yes.
which goes on within Intuit. We also encourage people to participate in external conferences. We participate, critical conferences or key conferences both in India and in the world. One of our team members presented in KDD just last year. I think that was in Los Angeles, if I'm not mistaken.
A few months ago.
Wow.
A few months ago. And we also encourage people to read papers and develop their own niche skills on applying what they have learned in their day-to-day job. We also have a peer review kind of process where peers review your work that you have done, and they suggest whether you can go ahead and publish a paper, which we have done. COTSCOM is one of the AI/ML conference recently that was held in India. We won the best paper award.
Oh, wow. Congratulations
So I
for
think,
that.
thank you. I think those are some of the areas that people can develop and hone skills. And this is a fast-paced, evolving
Absolutely.
tech space, right? In a sense, with generative AI, I think it's just going to go exponentially. I think to have processes like this to make sure that you're up to date with the latest technology that's coming in, and continue to review papers, publish papers, and as a group together to read papers which can help and benefit our own customers. Would you like to add anything?
I think he summarized it very well. A couple more things to add would be that Intuit also sponsors and hosts a lot of these conferences, like WITS, Women in Data Science, and some of the analytics meetups.
Yeah.
And these are all forums for us to participate firsthand and also present. Along with that, we have very specific mentoring for AI/ML and data scientists as well as data engineers in the org. So all these are very key initiatives that have helped us to progress in our career.
So generally, like across data and AI, how is the collaboration externally with folks outside of Intuit, and how are we contributing, and how are folks contributing to Intuit as well?
Yeah.
So just to add on, what we try to do within our organization is that we like to host external events every quarter.
Okay.
So we do DAC, which is analytics specific and data specific. Then we're doing WITS, which is Women in Data Science. Then we want to do a data meet host up. And then maybe in Q1 of next year, we will do some other events. So basically, we're trying to focus on an event every quarter. One, exactly like you said, how do we contribute back to the community and how do we learn from the community? I think it solves both those purposes.
One other thing would be the university relations that we have,
Yep.
which is where we bring in students from college and also work with them on projects at Intuit. Right,
Yeah.
Prashant?
So this is basically, we have a research program with one of the IITs where we are doing research on a language model.
Okay.
So those kind of engagement we will continue.
Yeah.
So that way we get to figure out, we work with PhD most of the, I mean, with a professor who will have PhDs to honor him. So if a PhD student is doing well, then we kind of can get absorbed into our organization. So these are ways that we learn, and these are ways that we also impart our knowledge.
Awesome.
That's amazing. Now, the reason I actually asked that question was because I've been with Intuit for quite some time, and the trajectory of the India side, specifically in terms of how we've been focusing on data science, AI, I think the trajectory has been exponential, and it's wonderful to see. So just trying to make sure that the audience knows exactly what's happening, quarterly or monthly, or how are you doing stuff just generally at Intuit.
Yeah, I mean, see, 2018 is when we started the AI journey. I was the first hire.
Yeah.
Wow. And today we are a team of 35 plus.
Yeah.
Managers, data scientists, ML engineers. So yeah, I mean, sky's the limit, I guess, with the way technology is evolving. I think we want to be adopting new technology and new tech stack as we go forward.
Absolutely. So just like, since we've been talking about this growth that's happened, so how does Intuit specifically kind of foster this environment of innovation and collaboration across AI teams and across product and AI teams to be able to actually deliver successful outcomes?
Yeah, so shall I take this?
Yeah, go ahead, please.
Yeah, so as Prashant said, we have these technical deep dives where all of us come together, pick up a paper, talk about it. We also have series of sessions where we all meet and teach each other. It could be some concept in AI. and then it's almost like a classroom board session. And all of us learn about it, discuss, and take back. So these are ways that we try to pick up new skills as well as actually implement it. The other thing is mentoring again.
Yeah.
I go back to
Yeah.
mentoring because it has really helped me. So finding the right mentors and approaching them for guidance has always helped.
Yeah, so I think the first piece you spoke about, discussing papers, getting in and doing all of that research, I think it's very reminiscent of college, and I think it's always super
Yeah,
fun
absolutely.
and so productive. You get a lot of interesting insights from different perspectives.
Yeah, adding on to what Ananya just also said, that is like when we work with the product teams, we engage the product team also as a part of our own team. So if there are engineers who want to contribute back to our repository, we are more than welcome to have them contribute back to our repository. So that way, we are not only building the knowledge within our own team, but we also kind of impart the knowledge to the next level teams or partner teams. So tomorrow, if there is another AI project that they have to partner with us, they already know the stack. It's easier and velocity generally improves.
Yeah.
So that's also something that we do actively.
That's nice.
There was one question I have, because we're talking about the topic of collaboration. One thing which sticks out for Intuit is the process of design thinking, which is very unique to Intuit, and we call it Design for Delight, D4D. Do you want to shed some light about how the AI teams actually practice the D4D culture here at Intuit?
So we are active participants in a D4D.
Yeah.
So fortunately for us is that earlier, like what we were discussing, is that we are no more the cherry on the top of a cake. We are the cake itself. So we're trying to build more and more native AI applications. So think about it this way, right? A product manager used to think about what are the features that a customer would like, and just go ahead and build a feature, and then come back and scratching, saying, okay, how do I add AI on top of it?
Yeah.
Right? On the contrary, tables have turned. So now we partner with the product manager from day one. So we are a part of D4D, right? When we are a part of D4D, we kind of come back and tell you, hey, these are the 10 different opportunities that you can go ahead and engage a customer or bring in some kind of an efficiency to our customers or into the product itself. So we're trying to build more and more native AI application rather than trying to just slap AI on top of a product.
Got it.
Yeah, so
An
this-
AI first
yeah.
approach.
AI first approach. Yeah.
Yeah. So in terms of challenges generally in the AI industry or with AI itself, like what are the top challenges that we are facing today? And like what do folks interested in this space or already in this space, like what do they have to do to kind of overcome these challenges in the field of AI?
See, one of the most fundamental or biggest challenge, at least, that Intuit is very focused is on responsible AI, and Ananya can add a lot more to it. We want to make sure that we don't introduce unconscious bias into an application, right? For the lack of training or the lack of the data that we have or whatever it is, right? So that's definitely one of the primary reasons. The second is the fast evolving space of AI/ML.
Yeah.
I mean, it is evolving so fast that we have to learn, adapt. So anybody who is interested in this particular space is a never-ending journey of self-study and learning, right? And that's why we built into the process of our work is to make sure that we review the work that we do, we review the papers that we want to submit, so that one, knowledge gets imparted, and knowledge also gets transferred, right? Second is about scalability, right? How do we deploy a model and scale it out? Gone are the days where you used to build a bespoke model just for one particular use case. Now we are building a platform where a specific model can kind of cater to n number of use cases, n number of products.
Could you give some examples about what we are doing at Intuit?
I will let Ananya answer that terms of...
taking an example of responsible AI, we are looking into how our models are, how fair the models are in terms of their predictions. And this is an active effort. We run tests, we run experiments, we build models to make sure that our models are really fair. And to talk about scalability, this is a concept that stems from reusable AI. Basically, you build models, but also make sure that you can use these same models. And I think of it also as having a reduced carbon footprint, but that's for green AI. But reusable AI basically stems from the idea that you write models once, you write generic models, but that can also be tweaked for specific use cases.
Right.
And these have worked brilliantly for us in our teams where we have such capabilities.
Awesome. And since you spoke about scalability, and Prashant, you also mentioned that we have data scientists, we have machine learning engineers, and Ananya, you're a machine learning engineer, right? So can you shed some light on your role, what you do, and what exactly do you contribute to the whole AI ecosystem?
Right. So the work kind of starts with trying to understand data and
Yeah.
get the right sources of data. That's where some of our AI work has also come into, right?
Yeah.
Like being able, the SQL Kickstarter that we have, or the Intuit Assist that we have on our online platforms to find the right table source. All of these are very important. So it helps us find the right source of data, tap into it, understand the data, and find meaning out of it.
Yeah.
And then comes the problem of actually understanding what we're trying to build, which the data scientists will write models for. They'll write the mathematical equations, prove that it works.
Yeah.
And then it's actually going to deliver the results that we hope it will deliver.
Yeah.
Once all the proving is done, this is where we come in and start optimizing the code to make sure that the resources used are actually most optimum, because we have a lot of models. We have huge GBs of models that are put in the cloud, but we also want to be sure that these are taking up as little space as possible and as little maintenance as possible in the future. So this is where the engineering aspect comes in, and you build the entire system around it. And then, of course, you write packages, you write SDKs wherever needed, and SDKs with the product view, so people can also use in the product teams, whoever is integrating with these AI services.
Oh, that's wonderful. Yeah. Partha, anything additionally in this space?
No, I think
Good. Yeah.
we're good with this question.
Okay, all right. So moving on, just generally trying to understand the landscape of AI, right? So how do you folks see it evolving in the next few years at Intuit, outside, and any tips for folks who want to actually break into the space, given that it's moving so quickly?
Can I take this?
Yeah, please.
So the way I see it is, Intuit is already on its journey to the to becoming the AI-driven expert platform, and we see AI being used in a lot of key flows, right? And going forward, we might see in terms of the engineering aspect itself of more self-serve capabilities. We already have a lot of them, and I see more of them coming, and a lot of reusable AI capabilities as well, because a lot of teams are interested in consuming AI, and we have seen from metrics that it's really delighting our customers. That's where we need frameworks and systems that will help us to scale these AIs and build reusable systems.
What kind of metrics are these when you say that? Okay,
so how,
customers are
take an example of an AI prediction that's being shown to the customer, and we want to know whether the customer actually acted on that prediction, and these are all captured. And normal metrics that we capture. And all of these will also be translated into our algometrics, like how precise we are, how accurate we are, recall, and so on.
Got it. So you spoke a lot about reusability, right? So if you look at in generally how software has evolved, we've had packages and code just to sort data. We no longer write things from scratch. I think AI is become such a way that, and you're talking about reusable code, people can just start importing all of this directly into their products. So SDKs and all of them, making it super simplistic, right?
Yeah, I mean, it's no different than software at the end of it, right?
Yes.
I mean, if you look at anomaly detection as an algorithm that you have, it just doesn't cater to one use case. It can cater to a number of use cases. Yes, of course, the wider it gets, the more decay it is, or more not very accurate it's going to get. So, but at least it's not using only one set of data to predict one set of values. You can look at n number of data and predict n number of values, right? So I think that's also, expanding in terms of building a platform, like an AI-driven expert platform. We are moving away, like I said earlier, is moving away from being a bespoke model, like, you very specifically you look for a use case and solve. But there are cases where we do that, but we try to look at more generic models as such.
Yeah, and just like a follow-up to that is, since we are speaking about evolution of AI into it, so how does it open up opportunities for folks who are interested in this space and want to join into it in this specific field?
I mean, especially for somebody who's fresh out of college or is still in college or in school, I would encourage them to do their masters, because what you learn in school and in your college takes you a long way. Yes, of course, there are a number of processes and stuff that we do at Intuit for you to learn. But school imparting knowledge is way different from work imparting knowledge. I mean, the other way is to make sure that you continue to upskill yourself. I mean, with the way technology is going, and every space, not just in AI space, right? If you're not updated, you kind of, I keep saying that, at the end of the 5 to 10 years, you'll just become a typist, right? So you have to upskill yourself on a continuous basis.
Yeah.
So that's the only way to, hone your skills and get to the place that you want to get to. It's generic for everything. It's not just specific for AI.
Gotcha.
Awesome. One thing which might be very objective as well in terms of the question I'm going to ask you, is that what would be the top 3 lessons that you have learned over your career in AI?
Interested.
Top 3 lessons that I've learned in one of the biggest lesson that I've learned over here is customer benefit. Right? We might build a lot of things, but if there's no tangible customer benefit, are we spending the right amount of time or money on doing something where there's no customer benefit? So definitely customer benefit is something that I've focused on. Second is responsible AI. We want to ensure that all our customers are treated fairly. We don't introduce unconscious bias. So we do a lot of rigorous testing so that our models do not predict wrong things or give you wrong information based on specific geographic location or area, whatever it is, right? So we don't want to introduce any bias. I think last but not the least is how do we scale it out, right? I mean, you cannot hire 10,000 AI professionals to solve a problem, right? So another way to look at it is that we are investing a lot of time in terms of one is how do we commoditize and how do we build platforms for AI so that more use cases can be solved by a simple model that you deploy. I think those are top 3. Ananya, thoughts?
Yeah, for me, it begins with because it's a very happening space, it's necessary to experiment fast and learn quickly and to always keep learning. That is the first one. Second one is to have deep customer empathy because that gives us the right perspective to build AI systems and capabilities. Third one is in this field, it's necessary to work with AI responsibly.
Awesome.
Yeah.
Top 3 tips. And obviously, the next set of question would be that how can the next new generation of engineers apply all these lessons that you've learned on their day-to-day work? Any best practices that you want to share?
See, I think each company has got their own culture, and this is our culture and the way we impart it. Like Ananya said, we're always customer backed. I mean, we want to delight our customers as compared to somebody else in a research field who just want to do research and figure out on what research they want to do and whether it's going to impact a customer or it's going to impact in some form or fashion something else, right? So I think there is no silver bullet to our question. I think people have to be flexible enough to come in to understand the culture of the company that they're going to work for and get yourself into that organization or get yourself in. That's what Arsasan keeps saying, get your whole self in, right? I think that's the way to do it, and be open for changes, be open for learning new things, perspectives. I think those are some of the ways that you can do what I just told you.
Yeah, I think just to add to that, I think something that's been resonating a lot is the day one mindset where people really come. Maybe Prashant, you could, and Ananya, you could shed a little bit of light on this as well. What does it essentially mean? Like, what's a day one mindset?
Isn't that part of like all of our work? Like,
Yeah,
Yeah.
it is.
come
Essentially.
to work with day one mindset.
Yeah.
I think day one mindset is always being highly curious. I mean, when you walk into a new company, you're always curious about learning about the company, learning about customers, what we're doing, how we're doing. I think that has never gone. I mean, 6 years has passed, and I can't believe that it's 6 years. I still have so much of curiosity. I ask dumb questions, but still ask it, right? I think that's definitely one. And bring your whole self in to the organization and make sure that you're creating a benefit to our customers. I think those are some of the things that I would definitely encourage people to do.
So Prashant, you spoke about curiosity and just deep thinking, right? So I have a question for both of you. Anil, Partha, you. So do you think we're living in like some sort of simulation, which could be AI driven or not AI driven, but just a very curious topic to actually
It's
talk
a very
to.
serious question.
Yeah, serious. Yeah, so very curious to know
Looks
what
like
your
you've seen
perspective.
Matrix a lot.
Yeah.
Do you have any reason not to believe? And what makes you think you're not already in it?
Oh, the question on a question.
Yeah.
Well, I'll actually allow you to answer the question, then question my question then.
Okay. Hard thing, maybe yes. We are
Yeah.
living in a simulation, all orchestrated by something supernatural, I guess.
Yeah.
Or powerful. The best part is that in a simulation, we are going to get VR glasses, and we're going to be in a simulation in a simulation.
Yes. Yeah.
Right. That's going to be a little tricky. So I wonder how many more simulations are we going to go from simulation to simulation to simulation. But yeah, it's definitely a possibility with how things are evolving or already evolved. Maybe, a super alien is controlling the entire Earth and the ecosystem or solar system, I guess. I don't
Listen,
know.
So,
some
like
of the
it-
games I've seen that.
Yeah.
You
So
get a character and
Yeah.
then the character has a simulation of and you are like, okay, what is this Inception? What?
So think about this, right? Like if you're in simulation, then the outcome of everything is already known. So if we get AI into quantum computing in the next 100 years, so powerful that we'd be able to predict the outcome of everything that's going to happen probably in the next 1 year, 1 hour. So do you think like
Maybe our monsters already know it.
yeah, sorry.
And you're just playing it. Like avatar of a game, right? The avatar of a
Yeah.
game does not know what he or she wants to do it.
Yeah.
You know exactly what you want to do.
Yeah.
So I guess if you're talking about simulation, I guess if you're already in it,
Yeah.
then I guess our masters already know what we are in it for.
And if you're talking about being in a simulation, then shouldn't they tweak the matrix so that we do not even start talking or discussing this topic?
This is to
Uh,
make it not seem that orchestrated, probably. So you talk about it, so it does not seem as
Yeah,
staged.
you never know when we
Yeah.
walk out of this door how many agents are going to come after us.
Yeah.
Right? Yeah, that's a possibility, but I guess we'll get to know once we get out of the door.
Yeah, for the audience, we'll add all the transcript for this section so that you understand what we're discussing about. Cool.
Yeah.
I think, one thing which we're obviously doing, at least I have tried to do a lot, is using generative AI tools for my day-to-day work. I use it in a certain way, but I would want to know that how have you seen others using it, or are there something which you personally have been using in day-to-day work to improve your efficiency and the productivity every day?
Yeah, I mean, coming to generative AI is here to stay. I mean, I saw a podcast sometime back where a group of school teachers were talking about, why should we prevent school kids from using generative AI? Because they give an essay, snap of a finger, 5 minutes, you have a 2,000 word essay and you're done. So, but I think we have to adapt ourselves to it because it's here to stay. What teachers are doing now or recommending is that, hey, you know what, use generative AI, come back with an essay, but let's discuss on it. So we're going to have hundreds of questions on top of it. Why this? Why that? Why do you think that AI did this? Right? So I think we have to use generative AI to optimize ourselves with respect to time, mundane tasks that can be optimized, which will help us. I mean, maybe tomorrow, you never know, we might have this podcast, but we may not be actually speaking, right?
Yeah.
It might be just given a script and the
Generated
avatars of
content,
us
yeah.
will be generating the script. So, imagine the amount of time that we're spending and the amount of time that they're spending with generative AI. I guess all this can be automated to whatever they want.
Yeah,
So, just have to be careful to figure out which is real and which is not.
that's a great concept. Hope the audience is not AI.
Yeah.
But
You would like to add something?
Yeah.
Ananya?
So, what is the question again?
yeah, what kind of like generative AI tools have you been using to make your day-to-day more efficient, productive?
Right. I think some of the tools that I've seen other people use is the summarizer, the customer voice summarizer.
Yes.
So you get summaries of,
VOC.
yes. And I think that's very helpful. The second one is the one that gets added onto meetings. So it summarizes your entire meeting for you.
Yes.
Yeah, absolutely.
Yes, I totally love that. The other one is to collaborate with any of these tools. I would not want to specifically name any,
Yeah.
but use it as a collaborator so you can bounce off your ideas with it. And it has helped in a lot of discussions like that you want to have with yourself. You can actually talk it out.
I think one thing it has helped probably all of us is to just write better across documents, PRDs, business cases, and now even Copilot in Outlook. For us, we use Outlook, right? I think that's been pretty cool as well.
Yeah, absolutely. I think we have to embrace it.
Yeah.
I think the more quickly we do it, the more efficient that we get, and we can be much more productive.
Yeah.
I think those are some things that we have to do. We don't have a choice.
Absolutely. But anything that a person from a director or a above level uses differently.
Like performance reviews.
Okay.
I wish.
Yeah. Also, I think the general perception of the general audience towards AI is very different from what it is today. They already think that it's there like an AGI level where it can think on its own, it can comprehend to everything. Whereas it maybe not there yet with LLMs and all of that. Yeah.
No, not only that, I mean, AI has been there. Look at the aviation industry,
Yeah.
right? In commercial aircraft, there are thousands of sensors, right? If not even more. But a human cannot look at, imagine you have 1,000 systems and you have to keep a watch on all of it. You cannot. Technically, you cannot. So I think computers have integrated to evolve to make sure that we have the best judgment and look at the most important thing that we have to look at. So it's enabling us to make decisions faster, enabling us to be much more safer. So I think those are the areas that we'll have to use AI.
Awesome. So here we are at the last final stage. Anything that you want to share? How was your experience being in this podcast, Ananya?
Oh, just fun. I had a lot of fun.
Yes, we learned a lot from you as well as you, Prashant.
Thank you.
Awesome. How was your experience?
Definitely uncomfortable being in front of the camera.
Yes. Is it
Yeah,
like
but
your-
that just doesn't feel like I'm in front of the camera. I'm more talking to you guys.
Yes.
So
Yeah, I mean,
it's
Prashant,
nice.
you're a director, so they're always behind the camera.
What a joke. Cool. I guess we all had fun and we learned a lot.
Yeah.
I think you also learned.
Absolutely,
Yeah.
100%. I think this has been great. A lot of insights for us, a lot of insights for the audience generally about Intuit, AI, and just trying to break into the industry both within Intuit and outside. So I think it's been wonderful talking to both of you.
Awesome.
Thank you so much
Thank
for
you
the
for having
opportunity.
us.
Yeah.
And if you like the episode, don't forget to like, subscribe, and also hit the bell notification button. Cool. See you in the next one. Thank you all.
Thank you.
Bye-bye.
See ya. Bye-bye.